Fred, it's great to have you on our little podcast here to discuss. I think what I think is one of the more interesting error coins that I've encountered. I don't know a whole lot about them, so I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit more. But today we're going to discuss the double struck 1887 Morgan dollar. And I've got the with me in my book here, I've got the 100 greatest error coins, and I see that it was, yep, there it is, number 6 on the list.
Yes.
So instead of me talking about something I don't know much about, we'll let you talk about it. So tell us about this coin and like its history and how it came to be.
Well, first, let me tell you a little bit about how rare the piece is. There's approximately a half a dozen known double struck Morgan dollars where the second strikes are 80 to 90% off, meaning there's just a little nub of design. This is the best double struck Morgan dollar in existence because the second strike is 40% off, which means you're seeing, a good portion of the original strike. If you look in the book, which we both have, there's a picture of it for those of you that may not have a picture. Um, you see two heads of Morgan, two Liberties, two Eagles, two Eagle heads. It's very dramatic and it shows the date. And it's much more eye appealing than just having a normal Morgan dollar with a second strike so far off, it's just a little tab. And again, there's maybe a half a dozen of those known. And this is the best by far. And you can see the date. You need a magnifying glass. It's hard to see with the naked eye, but it's just a very dramatic error coin. And I can tell you that I bought the coin myself at an A&A approximately 1978 or
Maybe that long.
79. It's
Wow.
been that long. Yeah. It had not been on the market. I had never seen the piece. I've never seen anything closer. And this particular coin has never been auctioned. So this auction appearance that's coming up will be the first time since the coin was made in 1887 that it'll be offered in a public auction.
That's why. That's really wild. Tell me, going back a little bit, tell me about why Morgan dollar errors are so rare. Because I mean, I've bought and sold. I tried to do it the other day. I was trying to figure out the math. I know I've bought and sold a million silver dollars, like literally a million silver dollars, and in all that time and going through bags, and I mean, I've only ran across probably less than a dozen mint error silver dollars. So dramatic ones. Why are they so rare?
Well, the general answer would be because of their size and metal content. The U.S. Mint is much more concerned about errors getting out that are made of silver or gold than they are of copper or clad. That's one consideration. The other consideration is that historically, going back to 1887 when we had Indian head cents and we had Morgan dollars, the coins were examined on conveyor belts by hand. And if you look at the mintages of, let's say, an 1887 Indian cent, 1887 Morgan dollar, and you picture the struck coins going down a conveyor belt and people literally with their eyes in their hands looking and sorting for defective coins, it's a lot easier, number one, to spot a Morgan dollar because it's 10 times or 7 times the size of a cent. So those error coins would be picked out much easier and faster than 50,000 or a few 100,000 cents going down a conveyor belt. The other factor, the third factor, is that they just don't make as many errors because it's a larger denomination coin and because of the silver content, the mint is much more careful with its striking process. So again, you can have minor errors. There's minor clipped planchets on Morgan dollars that have small premiums, 20 or 30%. And there's hundreds and hundreds of those. They're not very dramatic, not very eye appealing. Like everything else when it comes to rare coins, eye appeal and rarity are the best combination to have.
Yeah. And then what condition is this coin? I can't remember what it was, and the last I saw it was when it was graded. Do you remember?
You know what? Good question. And we don't even mention it in the book. I believe, you know what? I can't tell you if the coin is, I think it's MS61, possibly MS62, but don't hold me to that. It's
That's
been
what it looks like
many
from
years
the
since
from
I've
the
seen it.
photograph. So
Yeah, yeah.
it luckily it's probably survived. It did not get circulated. It was just probably just like kept as a pocket piece or something for
Somebody pulled it out of
time.
a bag, yeah, immediately. And I mean, I'm just looking at the picture again right now. In addition to the double head on the obverse, the fact that the original eagle's head is over the second eagle's breast is also very dramatic. If people had the photograph or could see what the coin looked like, it's very dramatic and eye appealing.
Do you think the market on this coin would be more a Morgan, like an advanced Morgan dollar collector would like to have a cool coin, or do you think are there really advanced error collectors that probably be after the coin?
The answer today to that question is different than it would have been 25 years ago. Today, the answer is both.
Both.
There are a lot of Morgan dollar collectors that want the best, or at least the best example. You know, you can have a die cap, you can have a clip planchet, you can have an off center. This is the best double strike. That's for Morgan dollar collectors. There's also people that don't specialize in Morgan dollars, but they love trophy coins. They love the best, either the best for rarity, the best for eye appeal, the best for something that appeals to people. And so this coin could fit in anyone's collection. It can fit into a box of 20. It could fit into a
Really
collection.
popular way to collect coins now, the box of
Right,
20.
exactly. And so you can have it in a Morgan dollar collection. You can have it in a denomination collection. People collect a double struck cent, double struck nickel. So there's probably a half a dozen different collecting categories that this coin could fit into, and there's only one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I was reading your description about it. You said there were two GSA holdered double strike dollars. I had never heard about that. Tell me about those a little bit. That's pretty cool.
Well, when I went to West Point to look at the Carson City dollars in 1973, they had pulled aside the errors, and they had found one off center CC dollar error. They did not find these two double struck in the collar coins because they're not easy to see. And those coins were discovered in GSA holders probably in the last 20 or 25 years, which
Wow.
was, over 50 years after the coins were issued by the mint. So the fact that it shows you that rarity of a Carson City coin being double struck is great, but they weren't that eye appealing and they weren't that easy to see. That's why they were not discovered till
Yeah.
decades after people got them, from the GSA sales.
Let's back up a second. So what was the occasion of you getting to go see the GSA dollars? I had not heard that story. That's cool.
Oh, that's a whole long story. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
invited by Arnie Margolis, who had published Aerotrends Coin Magazine. He had made contact with people at the Mint. He was always examining errors for them. And they actually invited him to come up to West Point to examine the errors, strike throughs, off center, etc., mostly very minor errors on the Carson City dollars, so that he would help promote them either in his error magazine or through Coin World. Because what most people don't realize, when the Mint started offering these coins in 1973, and they were 10 or $12, some of them were $15, collectors didn't buy them right out of the gate because they said, well, the regular market for the coin is $5 or $6. Why should we pay double just because it came from the government? So they needed a little spice. They needed a little story.
Cool
So,
marketing.
so Arnie invited me. I was 23 years old, just turned 23. I had never uh, been to New York actually, even, and um, I flew there and I flew there, and then the next day we drove up to West Point, took a complete tour of the West Point Depository at the time. I've been back since it's become a mint, but that was great. We examined thousands of coins that they had
They
found.
were all the millions some odd coins. Is that where they were
Oh yeah,
stored?
yeah. There's pictures. I have pictures of me standing in the room with all these wood boxes that the
Oh, you got to
coins were
send me one of
stored.
those pictures. I want that because
I've
I
got to
every once in
find
a
them.
while every once in a
Huh?
while I write articles about that because that's probably one of the top 10 coin stories of all time about the GSA dollars in
Yes,
general. And it's
right,
neat that you had a little sliver of the story because of the mint error part, but that's still
right,
a
right.
great chapter of one of the best stories of all time. So that's
Exactly.
really good.
Well,
That's
and again, to me, the important thing was that although they did find one off-center Carson City dollar, that was the best error coin that they found. Everything else were minor strike throughs and different things that were very, very minor, have nothing to do with the press itself. They had to do with planchet defects.
what happened to that coin? Did the GSA sell that coin?
That coin, believe it or not, I believe finally, I used to put ads in again, long story, I'll make it short. It turned out the GSA announced who got that coin. They sent it out anonymously for $10 or $12. a gentleman in Portland,
They
Oregon.
did. Wow. So it was like
Got it.
it was like a surprise
Right,
box.
and every time I would go to an A&A or a midwinter A&A in Portland, I'd put a small ad in the Portland paper saying, if you got this coin, I'd be
In this
interested.
coin.
And it turned out the coin never surfaced till about 4 or 5 years ago, and I believe it was submitted to NGC. I do
Wow.
not think it's been sold, uh,
Uh,
but that's the best Carson City
so
Morgan.
it just got released. I mean, it just got discovered in the last 5 years or so.
No, well, no. It was discovered in 1973. The
No,
mint
no, I'm saying it just got, but when
It came
the
back.
first
It
in the market.
resurfaced. It resurfaced literally about 5 or 6 years ago. Yes.
That's a great story. Yeah, it's neat how stories, that they can still like have extended for 50 years. That story's still going on. So
Right.
that's
Right.
cool. When did this coin surface, do you think? You said you bought it in the 70s. Was
Well,
it
I
around
bought
time
it. I bought
before?
it in either 78 or 79 at an A&A. I can't remember. I wish I could remember the exact circumstances, but I was stunned when, you sit at a coin show for all these years, many times a year, and people shove coins in your face. When you're dealing in error coins, they shove great errors or dramatic damaged coins. And when someone put this coin in my face, I remember going back and going, wow, never heard of it, never heard a rumor of it. I bought it and I put it away for myself. It was so impressive that I put it away for myself.
That's neat that you kept it for your whole career. And then,
Yeah.
and I think we've had one of your other podcasts we did for Redbook that's like you're one of the few guys that like you really did a whole career in numismatics for 50 years and then really did officially retire. So I admire
Yeah.
you for that and, enjoying life. And it's neat
Yeah.
that you're letting the market now, sharing some of these other great coins with people, and doing them. Um,
We're just custodians.
yeah, yeah, and they're always going to trade hands at some point. Also, I think it's this coin is actually special too, that it's not in the mint era world. It's not one of those weird coins that might have been created on purpose. It was really a mint error. And I think that's a good, important distinction for people to know about because some of like 1913 nickels were made, worth millions, but they were made intentionally.
Right.
Some of those, you probably know what I'm talking about more with the
Oh
mint.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Obviously, some of those were they made after hours type thing. This is a real, genuine, like made a mistake and it got out. So that's
Well,
a
right. I've always categorized error coins in three different categories, and this coin fits in the first category, which is coins struck in the normal course of minting that are struck in error and get out. That would be some double strikes, off centers, clip planchets, a variety of different things. The second category would be coins that are made as part of the normal minting process, but were made in error and were much too large, too big to get out in the normal process. That would be like triple bonded die cap coins or clusters of coins that are this big. The third category would be something like a penny struck on a nail, those made intentionally. So a lot of collectors only want legitimate error coins, and this 1887 Morgan dollar is made in the normal course of business. And if it wasn't made, it wouldn't exist. I mean, we wouldn't have any major off-center Morgan dollars with that much design showing of both strikes.
Yeah, I think that's important because it's this it's like a genuine mint error and not something that's
Not a
it's
questionable,
yeah
right?
and, they're never going to try to take it back from you. That's for sure.
Right, right.
Well, it's really it's a neat coin. I'm glad you actually that anybody might think about buying this coin has a chance to hear from the guy who like saw this coin 50 years ago and decided to keep it for 50 years, and now it's going to be shared with other people. And
Yeah,
maybe the next person that buys it will have it for 50 years, but we'll see if they share that story. But I think the turnaround time's a little bit less these days, but it's uh,
right.
it's it's still
Yeah, I
pristine.
mean, whoever ends up with this coin will end up with the key of their collection. It'll be the most eye-appealing coin in their collection.
Yeah, it certainly is. I've seen it one of the coin shows not too long ago. I saw it. I just walked by and it's like I just like it immediately grabs your attention. Like how'd that happen? It's like
Right,
seeing double. So
right.
oh, of course, like older I get, seeing double is not as unusual as it used to be. So making it good.
Either sing double or sing weak strikes.
That's right. Yeah, something. Yeah, something's going on. But well, I
Right,
appreciate you sharing a little bit of the history. I think it's the to me it's like living history that you're part of this coin's history, and I think your name's on the holder if I remember right. So from the Weinberg
I
collection.
believe, yeah, I believe it says Fred Weinberg
Yeah,
collection.
yeah,
Uh,
that's
yeah,
neat having the pedigrees. And if you buy a great coin like this, you can add your name to that pedigree. So
that's
I think
right.
that's
That's
a
right.
great honor for someone who will make the purchase. So.
Exactly.
So, well, thanks for doing that. I appreciate you coming on and helping me juggle my Zoom task and making it happen. And this, I think that's all great. And I'll pass this on. And I think we've got it recorded to the cloud now, so we'll
Good.
turn
Good.
it on to the folks that can use it, and we'll see how it goes.